Thank you for being here with me today. Go ahead and get your Bible, and we'll be still in the 119th Psalm, verse 75 today. Psalm 119:75 will be our starting point, and we'll see how far we get from there. The psalmist makes an interesting observation here, one that is typically difficult for most of us uh, to to come to the same conclusion, to see things quite the way that he sees them. It says in verse 75, I know, O Lord, that thy judgments are right, that thou in faithfulness has afflicted me. Um, First of all, what we see in the way that is written, the wording leads us down a different path. First of all, God did not cause the psalmist persecution. He did not cause those who were attacking him to do that. We have no reason to believe that. What God does do is He uses all of our circumstances, including those that we don't understand, for the purpose of producing righteousness, holiness in our life. It's one of the most difficult things that a believer struggles with. That's one of the most difficult things we have to deal with. It's one of the most difficult things we have that lost people will question and use in against Christians. But we know that God doesn't make any mistakes. Now, sometimes from our point of view, things don't seem to be quite right. And it's a lot, I think, a good example of it. It's a lot like looking at somebody doing maybe cross stitch or needlepoint, and you see the backside of what they're working on. You look at it and it looks like a mess. But when they turn it around and you can see the other side, then you see the artwork, you see the beauty of what they're working on. We don't always see everything and know everything that God is working on in our life. God uses those things in our life to develop our character, to make us more like Christ. Again, to make us more holy and righteous. And the psalmist here, these circumstances in his life had caused him to look at some things differently and to look at his own life a little bit differently. Back up into verse 30, 36, and you'll see there that the psalmist admits to being covetous. And then in verse 37, vanity. And so we see the psalmist there is confessing some sin. I think what we see down here is at this point, the psalmist is recognizing that God has used these circumstances to get the covetousness, the vanity, to remove those things from his life, to cause him to change his actions, his to change his way of living, and to become more righteous. And so we have, again, that perspective. The psalmist is believing that God is using these events in his life to help him to make his life, again, to make him more like God, to cause him to trust the Lord more. And that's one of the most difficult things, again, for us as believers to struggle with and to deal with, is when we have the hard times, when we have the difficult times in our life, to understand and to see how God is trying to use those to shape us. Now, let's be honest. I got to say this. Sometimes the hard times in our life are because we make bad decisions, because we make bad choices. But even then, we can learn. If I grab a something hot, I know next time not to do it. And so even those times we can learn. And so the psalmist says, I didn't enjoy what I was going through, but God, you helped me to grow, and you helped me to learn from this experience. I challenge you today that as you go through the day, you're probably going to have some situations you don't like, some that are kind of hard, some that are difficult. And rather than moan and complain and become bitter against God, use those times and look at those times and see what it is God's trying to teach, what it is God's trying to show you, maybe what it is that is trying to be removed from your life. How is God trying to use the good and bad circumstances of your life today to make you into the person, to mold you, to be the potter with the clay, to shape you and form you into the person he needs you to be, that he can use for his kingdom. That's the challenge each of us face in our circumstances and situations each day. I hope you'll join me in praying that prayer. Lord, help me to see what you're trying to do. Help me to see the bigger picture and to be able to trust you even when I don't understand. All right, you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.